Good morning. Good morning. And a very, very warm welcome. Okay, this one's... All right, we'll go to this mic. I'm very, very happy to see you. Happy Monday to everyone, and what a beautiful spring day that we have in front of us. So I'm delighted to see such a great group of folks here at our open forum. And I think it's a really important one that we share together also with our Antelope Valley sister campus. Good morning, Antelope Valley. We're being live streamed, and we also have the availability of you also answering any concerns that come up or asking questions. So Antelope Valley, we're really glad that you're with us as well. Well, in consultation with the chair of the Academic Senate and the ASI president, thank you, Ash, I saw you just come in, we organized this forum and wanted to share important updates because we've really been running hard, as all of you can attest. And I want to make sure that I'm giving you those updates in transparency, also giving you an opportunity to ask questions, share any concerns you might have about where we're at right now at CSUB and things that should be on my radar. In the spirit of open dialogue, shared governance, transparency, we would like to also memorialize this tradition, which is something that I hope we'll have every semester, a President's Open Forum. So here is your Monday assignment. I think we need to rebrand what we call the Open Forum. And in the past, and those of you who have been here for a while, I believe that it has been branded as a fireside chat. I'm looking for the fireplace, so I can't see it. If you like that, we can keep it, but I think it's time for maybe a refresh. So I'm very eager to hear your thoughts and ideas about what we can brand this open forum, which again, we'll have every single semester. I also want to move forward in sharing with you a few updates that I've been asked to speak about by the ASI, also the Academic Senate. And so let me begin. First, on the strategic plan, as I'm very happy. Are there any runner reporters here in the audience today? Well, I do want to thank the runner for their optimistic article, and very happy that they're pleased where we're at on the strategic plan. Still some work to go, as many of you know who are on strategic planning and budget. However, what we have moved forward with are our 5 goals that have been articulated by the Strategic Plan and Budget Committee. And those 5 goals are roughly, in first priority, lifelong student success, how we strengthen and inspire that. Number 2, how do we advance our faculty and staff support? Number 3, how do we sustain and build innovative academic programs? Number 4, how do we engage with our community in a way that brings up our profile, both nationally and regionally? And number 5, how do we enhance our resources, which includes diversified revenue streams as well as thinking about our space? So those are roughly the 5 goals. The actual wording is being articulated by Strategic Planning and Budget Committee, and I think they're doing a fabulous job in really fine-tuning the spirit of who we are at CSUB in those goals. I've moved forward with inviting folks, actually early this morning, some of you got some invites, to co-lead on task forces that will be arranged around the 5 goals. So on each of those goals that I just articulated, we will have a faculty co-lead and an administrator co-lead. The ASI has given me great feedback. They would like to also play a role in each of the goals, and so I have asked Ilaria Pesco to recruit students for fit on those goal task force. Now, what is the work ahead of us in the next 2 months? The task force committees, which are about 6 to 8 people, we hope to have a very representative and diverse task force that'll be working on these outcomes, 6 to 8 outcomes that are data-driven from our 50 pages of data that was given to us during our listening tour. So having the task force go back, look at the data, and then devise, identify, discern those outcomes. Now, once the outcomes have been established, we'll bring them back to make sure that, again, the broader community on campus agrees with the goals, the refresh of the vision, mission, and values, and then we'll begin also to move forward with the metrics and strategies. All goals right now are very thematic, but the outcomes will have to be those that we'll have metrics on, that we can actually measure our progress. So that's all very, very exciting. What I'm expecting is that by May, mid-May, before we all leave for the summer break, that we will have brought the strategic plan to the broader community, and that will ratify and approve that strategic plan for the next 5 years. Why is this important? Because those priorities need to be in place as we move forward with the first ever comprehensive campaign. This last week, we had a CSU consultant come and meet with our Board of Foundation Board, who will be helping with our campaign, and that consultant was there to prep them on our campaign readiness. So getting them ready to go. You also need to know, because again, we want to be transparent, that when we begin a campaign, that will require external consulting team that will come and do a feasibility study. This feasibility study will be in alignment with the strategic plan, and what that means is that they'll go out and do a survey of our community. They'll do a survey on campus as well about those strategies, about those goals, our strategies and outcomes, and how the community responds in terms of their potential financial investment in those goals. So we'll look forward to hearing from the consulting team, the feasibility study, which will set what the goal is, the financial goal. So stay tuned. I'm very excited about this process. And as you know, once that goal has been established, we'll be moving forward in what we call the silent phase of the campaign. The silent phase means that we'll be out, just eager and ready to raise money for our goals. And by the time we get to 2020, which will begin celebrating our 50th anniversary, January 2020, that's when the cabinet has said we'll begin to celebrate our 50th anniversary. By that point, we hope that we can then have a big celebration and say, we're so successful on our silent phase of the campaign, we can now tell you that we've already raised half of the money that we set forth. So that is the hope, that's the optimism, that's the confidence that we have in our process. So let me also share with you our WASC offsite review. This is a phone call, so no need to worry about VIPs being on campus, but Dr. Vernon Harper, myself, and some other team members will be with me during that WASC offsite review call. I've already had one phone call with the chair of our review team, and just giving her a summary of where I think we are, and thinking about what we hope will be commendations to CSUB and lines of inquiry. I'm a WASC reviewer as well, so we expect both of these. Lines of inquiry are very, very helpful to us because it gives us a few moments in time and a few months to work on those lines of inquiry to improve by the time they come here for their actual visit, and that will be next spring.
No, this one.
This coming fall. All right, 2019. But we'll be ready, and I'm feeling very, very confident about that. All right, let me also move forward to share with you, as you've seen in the press, there's some exciting potential collaboration with Bakersfield College. We are at the very early stages of this collaboration. This collaboration has at its center students and what is best for Kern County. And I want to just share that this idea has come about because we want to, as CSUB, be leaders in reducing barriers for students in Kern County and making their transition smooth to a 4-year opportunity. Here's how this opportunity came forward. As you know, Greg Bynum, one of our Hall of Fame alumni, has a lease on some acreage just to the south here. Many of you have seen the signage that says University Development Center. He has Board of Trustees approval on that lease. He's had it for a good number of years, and he has not been ready to build on it. It was approved just about the time the recession hit, and so it's been on hold. But as of recent, he shared with us that he is ready to begin moving forward in the building of a university center. One of the things that was very necessary, though, was thinking about who would be the first tenant in that building. And one of the interesting things that happened is related to timing, is that CSUB got an inquiry from Bakersville College to say, we're about to lose our lease here in the Southwest. Might CSUB be in support of exploring a potential opportunity for there to be a satellite Bakersville College center on the CSUB campus? As I talked to President Christian, I thought this was a brilliant idea to explore, which is exactly where we're still at. We have moved forward with the political approval of the Board of Trustees from Bakersfield College to again think about the details, and there will be many, none of which I have answers to today because I will need all of the good work of our faculty and staff here at CSUB to work with the faculty and staff at Bakersfield College to discern how this collaboration will exactly work. But what I do know is that if we can pull this off, this will be a first of its kind in California. And we, I think, will be leaders in student success because, again, this is a very innovative idea. One of the things that I know research shows is that the best thing that we can keep our eyes focused on is reducing barriers for students, smoothing their path. Well, what could be more smooth than students that have declared ADT, associate degree transfer, and which is articulated with CSUB, and having them already on campus in our environment, and figuring out ways that we can align and share services. Now, we are moving forward with some discussions. Your interim provost has been the lead on working with faculty and staff at Bakersfield College. We're at the very preliminary stages of that. I want to really give a shout out to a couple of other leaders. Dean Asher is here. He's one of the first people that stepped up and said, I'd like to be part of this exploration. I'd like for us to be thinking immediately about library services. I want to thank you for that leadership. And I also want to thank Jackie Kegley. Dr. Kegley stepped up and said, I'm very interested in exploring honors programs, how their presidential scholars might align with our honors program. And I also want to thank Vice President of Student Affairs and the person that oversees housing, Dr. Thomas Wallace, who also came forward and said, let's also explore details related to housing, because as you know, we're only at 62% capacity in our residence halls right now, and there's a potential opportunity. These are volunteer leaders that came forward. These were not, there was not direction from me, and I'm very, very appreciative of their visionary thinking on how we can begin that collaboration. So let me just reiterate, we will be moving forward in understanding details that are before us that we will all be working on together as partners in the community. There will certainly be future discussions about shared services and fees for students, but we're way too early for those discussions because I'll need student input and there are also very important shared services related to the recreation center, our student health center, and athletics. So, and many other things. So, not to share that we're not in front of that. We are indeed, but we will need input, and we'll need those of you here helping us to work through those details. And then you may have seen, I wasn't expecting a front page, but it was clear that I, as a representative lead of CSUB, am not in favor of the proposed housing at Stockdale and Coffee. First and foremost, I do not think that this aligns with our strategies for student success. Research is clear that the best thing that we can do for students with regard to student success is to give them wraparound support on campus. Off-campus housing is very, very different. It does not have programming, it does not have the security and safety, and it does not have folks in place to help support our students, especially those first-generation students who will be coming for the first time to a four-year institution. So I am opposed to moving forward in that project. We'll see how it all rolls forward. I have also given feedback to the Planning Commission, and again, I'm happy to answer any questions about that as well. Let me also just say our investiture is just but about 6 weeks away. Big celebration time, May 3rd. I hope you'll all be there. 10 a.m. out in the amphitheater. All are invited. This is going to be an amazing community celebration. We are expecting celebrities from the Central Valley, our elected officials, as well as our Board of Trustees, our Chancellor. The U.S. Poet Laureate will be the keynote. So Juan Felipe Herrera will be here, and I'm very, very excited that he'll be coming to celebrate with us at CSUB. I believe it is his first time to be in Bakersfield as U.S. Poet Laureate. You will see that the focus of the investiture is sense of place, because that's something that I'm really invested in our identity, who we are as CSUB. There will be a week-long set of events, starting with a land blessing from the Tohono Indian tribe. There will also be a showing of the film Dolores in the library. Dolores is very excited about that, and I have word that she might be in attendance that night, but I want to thank some faculty members that'll be there, giving their perspective and insight on this sense of place, the epicenter of where farm labor civil rights happened. We'll also be having a forum on future Kern workforce, because again, our service region is very, very unique. Energy, sustainable energy. Also thinking about entrepreneurship, which again is very much at the forefront of the building of this fast-growing county, Kern County. There'll be a wonderful investiture reception, and this is going to be in celebration of being the #1 ag county in California, which I'm really proud about. And we will be having a reception called the Taste of Bakersfield. So come and enjoy the food and be with your colleagues and your community members. Let me just note just a couple of other things here. A number of us, including our student body president and our trustee, John Nylon, were up in Sacramento just about a week ago, and we were there for advocacy. We are very pleased about the proposed governor's budget. It is a proposed budget. We were told by most of the elected officials that just as soon as that optimistic proposed budget came out, there was a documented shortfall of about $2 billion to the state. But again, that's not a final number. I think it was just to give us warning that there may be adjustments, which there always are. So I share that with you as well, because we'll have to be prepared for that final budget. As you know, the budget is better than ever before in history, but I want to be very cautious in what it's covering. It covers largely our mandatory costs for faculty and staff, which is our salary lines and our benefits. So that's the largest percentage of this budget. There is additional money for the graduation initiative and enrollment growth. However, that enrollment growth percent has not yet been established. What I've asked the interim provost to do, along with our chief financial officer, chair of the Senate Budget Planning Committee, Brian Street, is to come up with a couple of scenarios to share with you about if we have 2% enrollment growth, this is how many tenure lines, this is how many support services, etc., that we could move forward with. If we had higher, what might it look like as another option? So that, again, will be collaborative work, and they'll be bringing that back to the body for your consideration. So again, I think it's better to be prepared for whatever the budget is that we see in June. I do want to let you know, per the request of the student body and from many of our faculty and staff, we will be moving forward with the Dream Resource Center, which will be open in fall 2019. I want to thank Claudia Catota, our Chief Diversity Officer, for being the lead on this, for meeting and consulting with the students and with all of you. And we do have, I believe there is already a posted opening for a coordinator of that, or will be soon. Will be soon. So what a great time for CSUB to be in support of students in a growing population of students that will need those resources. So really excited that the Magic Center will be open with a Dream Resource Center in the fall. Let me close in my announcements and then open it up for your thoughts, questions, concerns, ideas. I would like to introduce to you Marcus Brown. I'm going to have him stand. Marcus is new to the Office of the President. Many of you know him. He is an attorney, and yeah, give him a hand. He has, without a doubt, taken on one of the toughest jobs on campus right now, which is Title IX. So all Title IX issues will now be routed through Marcus Brown. He's well qualified to serve the campus on these issues, and I'm very, very happy to have him in this role in the President's office. And again, because it is located in the President's office, I also want you to know that that should send a message and a symbolic decision on my part to share with you the importance of Title IX and making sure that we are a campus that takes seriously those issues. So with that, let me thank you for listening to my updates, and those are but a few. And I can tell you that I'm really excited about the progress that we've been making these last 7 months. And it was just about a year ago that the announcement of my appointment was made public. As a matter of fact, I travel tomorrow to the Board of Trustees, where 2 new presidents will be announced tomorrow. So I'll no longer be the baby president in the California State University system. So very excited to hear about my future new colleagues. So let me thank you for your service as well. Let me thank you for your heart for our students. And let me open up the floor to questions, thoughts, and concerns. And let me first start with Antelope Valley. Do we have anything coming in from Antelope Valley? And we'll move forward. So Anna, do you have anything from Antelope Valley? Thank you very much. So let me open up the floor. And are there microphones to be shared? Thank you. On the sides. Please introduce yourself as you come forward. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, pride points? Thank you, Ash.
I'm short. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Schmidt. I am this year's ASI president. I just wanted to say, of course, thank you so much for making sure that the students' voices are being heard through all of this process. I know that we extremely appreciate it, and I know that through our next coming years, the students will be having a huge impact on how our university is going to be heading.
Thank you, Ash. You are the most important voice, not just an important voice. I do want to thank all of the student leaders on campus for their willingness to serve on the strategic planning task force committees so that student voice can be heard in those outcomes. And in particular, Ash and I, as well as Debbie Boschini, have been talking with the Strategic and Budget Planning Committee especially, and I do want to let you know that we are in a transition year. So as that strategic plan comes forward, and we not only have our goals, but there'll be timelines on when we should be hitting these goals. And so this year I've asked Ash and the Academic Senate and other stakeholders to come forward with the process that we have been using in the past, which is to bring forward priorities. So I want to thank you for being on top of that. But just to let you know, this is a transition year because as we move forward, the priorities will be in the strategic plan. So it'll save a lot of effort. And again, that's why the strategic plan is so very important. Those outcomes and priorities will already be articulated with timelines and, of course, align with budget. So I want to thank you for playing so well on this transition time with the leadership and for being such a strong leader. Thank you, Ash.
Of course.
Other thoughts, ideas? Thank you, Natasha.
Hello, Natasha Harris, Transfer Student Success Coordinator. So we're very excited about the expansion of the Bakersville College campus here as we work with our community partners, our community college partners. So that's one more that we're really embracing with the Finishing 4 and the ADT pathway. But my question becomes enrollment, because you were just talking about looking at the budget of it and everything. We've been an open access campus this whole time with enrollment, no enrollment limit. So are we now looking to limit our enrollment as far as first-time freshmen and transfer students?
No,
or will this continue?
No, we're not. However, and I'll let Vernon Harper maybe give a bit of a detail here. We are going to be doing a process change with a deadline. So I'm going to let the interim provost talk with you about that. But don't forget that we are a campus that's poised to grow in the next 5 or so years, and that enrollment growth money will be very helpful to bring more faculty, more staff, and allow us to grow a larger student body. The place, and I want to thank you, Natasha, the place that we're doing the best in terms of pride points are those transfer students. So again, thank you for your support of the BC collaboration, because I do really think that it's going to help our graduation initiative and really show that those transfer students are really getting a great opportunity to get finished in 4 years. Let me turn it over to Vernon Harper, maybe just a brief on your consultation on an enrollment deadline.
Sure, thank you. And really quickly here, as Natasha mentioned, the university has operated essentially as an open campus for many, many years. However, by looking at the data, we saw that the vast majority of students who end up enrolling at the institution do so at the CSU's prior or general application deadline, which is around December 31st. And we would set a deadline sometime in a week or so after that, so that most of the students who apply are before that deadline. The strengths of this particular approach is it provides forecasting to the academic side in terms of students do not enroll in the university right up until the matriculation date of the university. We vetted this already with the executive committee and the deans already, and it'll come to Senate shortly.
Thank you, Vernon. And I know that the interim provost has been out in consultation with students, the faculty, the staff, and wow, how about this? Unanimous support for that moving forward. I think it will allow our chairs, in particular our deans, to forecast and be prepared for the students that are applying to come to university, rather than expending extraordinary amounts of energy on students that get here after we begin classes. And we also see from the data that those students who come late are not succeeding at the rates that we would wish. So it's really a very good strategy. I think we're one of the last to have this deadline closure date, and I want to thank all of you for supporting it. Other questions? Thank you, Ulysses.
Good morning. My name is Ulysses Rodriguez, and I'd like to start by saying thank you for your support over the last year. We've had a lot of firsts in the Veterans Department this last year, and we're looking forward to our continued growth. We were recently, just want to give you some stats about how much we've grown. We were recently doing some data acquisition for the Veteran Center, and we've gone from when we first opened, from getting about 400 students per semester to the Veteran Center, to the next year we were about 800 per semester, And this last month, just in February alone, we were at 950 at the Veteran Center alone.
Wow.
So we're projected around over 3,000 for this semester. And
Fantastic.
our growth is just continuously growing. So I just want to say thank you for your support. We look forward to the futures and the possibilities of the Veteran Center. And I just want to say that we look forward to continue to work on getting the ROTC program. That's something that I hope that we can get the support of to getting. But that is something that I hopefully we don't forget about. I want to make sure that this is an opportunity that could help out the students, our local high school students, our community, and could help the school grow as well. So that's something that I personally want to keep fighting for and hope that we get. One of the things that we've been doing is growing, and we are at the point where we are plateauing in the sense of what we can do with our current budget. I hope that that is something that we can look at to continue to grow our program. It is something that it's hard with what we have right now, but we always make it happen. We're survivors, where we make anything happen. But I like to think of the possibilities of what if we could have more, how much more we could grow our program. So I just want to say thank you for your support. The future is going to be great for us, and it's all because of what the administration has given us. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Ulysses, and thanks for being such a great Marine. Thanks for your service to our country. And wow, that's amazing to hear the numbers that are growing of veterans. We are a very patriotic community, very, very patriotic county. And one of the things that I want to maybe elaborate on is that Ulysses has been a great advocate, along with ASI, for us to have another look at an ROTC program. We currently have a suspended ROTC program that was suspended many, many years ago, along with several other CSUs here in California. It was a reaction to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. As you know, those policies have progressed somewhat, always still room for greater benefit. But we are the only CSU that has not reversed our suspension. And so Ulysses brought forward the potential, especially for a county like ours, to have that dialogue and explore that idea. I will say, and this is in true transparency, as you know, I'm the daughter of a veteran, and when I was serving as provost at Fresno State, I knew CSUB did not have an ROTC, and I actually recruited here to bring them to Fresno State because those students were so eager for that ROTC opportunity. Remember that an ROTC program is funded federally. It's no funding that comes from our budget. I am meeting this Friday with Kevin McCarthy. I do intend to ask him about future veteran support services, as well as re-establishing a lecture series that he wants also supported with federal money. But I could also ask him if he would be willing to sort of follow us on this dialogue as we think about whether or not it's the right time to take that ROTC program off suspension and ask for there to be the federal support. So more dialogue with the faculty and with the staff. And certainly, it's all about students, so we're going to take it seriously as we move forward in that dialogue. Thank you for leading on that. Other questions, thoughts, ideas, concerns?
Hello, everyone. I'm Cindy Zuniga-Prado. I'm the School of Business and Public Administration.
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
an academic advisor.
Thank you.
My question is more towards the line of Antelope Valley and what are our plans to grow that center, because it has been lacking. So what are we doing for Antelope Valley?
So I don't know if Randy Schultz is in the house, but he usually is. Antelope Valley is part of CSUB. They're not a center. They're part of us globally. And so we have folks that will be on the strategic planning task force work groups that will be speaking on behalf of Antelope Valley, the curriculum that we need to build out there, and the other support that we need to bring into that county. That's a particularly important area of growth for us. When I was out at Edwards Air Force Base, meeting with their new commander, who likes to be called General Dragon. That's his call sign. Pilot, of course. He told me he needs as many aerospace engineers as I can possibly give him. As you know, we don't have aerospace engineering. So I'm expecting to hear that bubble up in the conversations along with other areas of interest to Antelope Valley. I hope to see those in the outcomes in the strategic plan. Other thoughts? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Janai Molina, and I'm the TRIO coordinator here at Cal State Bakersville.
Thank you so much for being the coordinator of such an important program.
Yeah, it actually is. And I actually wanted to ask a question about the Dream Resource Center that you plan to open up. Can we have more logistics on it and what's going to happen moving forward? And also, where will they be stationed at?
Yeah, I'll let our Chief Diversity Officer, who led this bold idea, and she'll give you those details. Claudia?
So the initial proposed location will be in Magic. So if out at Rohan Hall, so in Student Housing West. Logistically, we will be posting a job for a Dream Resource Coordinator that will be the staff person for that center. In consultation with our students, faculty, and staff, one of the things that kept coming up was that we needed someone who knew the students, how to work with undocumented students, the need for an allied training, different support services and coordination. So logistically, that's what we're thinking. It will be housed under Student Affairs, I believe under Dr. Wallace's and Dr. Jernix's area, because it is a student service with a dotted line to the DACA task force that we have that will be reporting out. The DACA task force will also provide guidance to that coordinator.
I think our students are super excited. I know I am. And that was one of the first things on our radar that we heard from students, and so very important to them. And yeah, they deserve it. So we're happy to move forward on that. Other ideas, other thoughts? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Evangelina Medina from Student Housing and Residence Life.
Yeah.
I do outreach and events for housing. And I just wanted to say how excited we are for our growth and where we're moving. We're actively involved in a social media campaign. And just as you guys know, the way to actively engage our students is through social media right now. And so our numbers on Instagram have grown and Facebook, and we're working diligently with other campus partners and tagging each other. And so that's a lot of fun with different events and things like that. But also we're wanting to get the word out about what our department has as far as our new facility, our residence halls, the community center, and things like that. And so if any of you have not been over there, I encourage you, come on over. I'd be happy to give you a tour. We also have our guest housing available for faculty and staff and campus affiliates at $40 a night if you need it. This is the things that we want to promote that eventually help our students and lower their costs for tuition for their stay during the year. So again, we're excited and happy to be partnering with campus partners and everyone here. And applications open May 1st. So
Thank you so much. We so appreciate your leadership, and we are very excited about the programming that happens in housing, because it's such a benefit for our students. And we can see it in the data. We can see it in their GPAs and in their retention, as well as getting to the finish line in 4 to 6 years. So thank you to housing. Appreciate it. Other ideas? Thoughts? Ash, thanks.
sorry.
Not at all.
I came up with a good comment, so now I have to have something we can improve on.
Oh.
So something that continues to be a dialogue within the students is classes being offered. A lot of the times the classes that they need are offered at the same time, and their requirements, and sometimes the requirements of each other. So if we can just have some time looking into that to see how we can improve that for the students, it would help with the graduation initiative immensely. So that's it.
Thanks, Ash. You just brought up a really important point, and I do want to let you know, and some of you are aware of this, is that we are doing a space utilization audit. We need to improve the way that we utilize our space here at CSUB. And these are data points that the legislative analyst looks at, the CSU looks at, and also students, are looking at it because it's about serving you in the best way that we can. And so you're likely to hear that we'll be thinking of ways that we can better utilize our space. That means that we'll be asking for faculty members to put in their job searches for new faculty, that your preferences that you would have a faculty member that could deliver pedagogy in non-traditional ways so that we could expand access even to the rural communities, that your faculty member might be willing to also teach non-traditional hours that will help us with our space utilization, and also to develop curriculum so that we don't have these odd sequences in courses that I think you're referring to. So let it be no surprise, we are looking at space. We must utilize space in a more effective way, because we are on the negative radar of the LAO and the CSU. And if we are going to put up our new building, that ratio has to move forward. So it's urgent. It is a directive really coming from external for us to get that new building up. They're expecting us to move forward with a different space utilization. There will be pain points. Let me just be transparent. People will not be able to have their same Tuesday, Thursday class in the same room without being asked if they will be flexible. All right, so there will be a need for flexibility as we move forward. And what will happen in space utilization is that Fridays it's a working day. So I know that that's a great day to have events because there's parking, but nobody shows up. So thanks for sort of underscoring a larger issue about space. Classes we'll certainly look at to make sure we have more classes and sequencing is better, and that would be part of that graduation initiative money for extra additional classes. So thanks for bringing that to the forefront, Ash. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah. Here. Thank you, Kathleen. Enrollment Management.
I'm not sure you want me up here, but I have to make this statement. I've been here through much of the growth because President Mitchell really opened the doors and said we're going to grow. And we've always had a small target, and we've always over-enrolled. And next year we're going to be over-enrolled again by probably 13%, something like that. We have to put a control on that because we don't have the space, and we're now pushing up against the lack of instructional support. Also, in enrollment management, we have to do 2,000 more grad checks with the same number of people. So now I'm talking about them. But I was wondering if the cabinet couldn't develop some kind of political strategy to work with the Board of Trustees to get a higher proportion of the target coming our way, because we're a small campus growing, and we can't keep over-enrolling without putting money into the instructional budget and the support budget. If you want your grad checks done on time, we're going to have more evaluators to do all the students.
All right. For all those on strategic plan task force enrollment grad checks, we need more support there. I know we're moving forward to use technology in better ways in enrollment management. Thank you, Faust, for helping us with that and supporting. But I'm in agreement with you that we do need more enrollment growth money. In fact, when we were in Sacramento, we didn't want to be ungrateful for the budget that the governor gave us as a proposed budget. But in fact, in all of my meetings, I was clear that at CSUB, I don't need a 2.5% or 2% growth enrollment. I need a 5+ growth enrollment. And so we are asking for it. The Board of Trustees also asking for it pretty clearly. Will we get it? I don't know. A few people did seem to perk up and take notes. The Women's Caucus leaders in particular, I think I got a feeling that they'll go to bat for us on a higher enrollment growth. Point being, though, we need to realize that we are over-enrolled, and we need to make sure we get as many resources as we can that will support the students on the ground level, because getting them out into graduation, and thank you for getting those grad checks turned around on time. Very much appreciated. We can't have any snags there. And I know you're working around the clock on that, so thank you. Kathleen, I want to thank you publicly also for stepping in to take that role. I know that there have been some really great efficiencies that have come forth under your leadership. Keep on going. All right. And I do want to maybe share a little bit about my own philosophy. This is my own philosophy today. But I came from Fresno State, where we were impacted. The CSU is largely going to impacted universities. For our service region, I'm really not in favor of that. We're trying to bring in as many students as we can. So as long as we can hold off in thinking about impaction, and I really want to do that. And before we would even begin to think about that, that would have to be a huge consultation with the community. But to this date, I really stand against going to impaction as a university. Other thoughts? Any brilliant ideas? Any things we could do better to support you now? Antelope Valley? Any thoughts? Still okay? All right. We have about 7 minutes, and I'm going to be here the full 7 minutes because this is important. Leora, please. Yeah, would you use the microphone? That'll help us with the recording. Thank you very much.
It's really just a question for my own education. So you mentioned impaction over here, and we have this over-enrollment of our target.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something in between? I mean, we don't want to shut down bringing people in, but is the only way to bring in where our target is that impaction?
The best way to be thinking about this is to get students to the finish line as fast as they're ready. And that's the best strategy that I see in front of us. So these folks that are just called out and we're supporting, they're the ones doing that for us. They are making sure there are no snags, and they're getting folks graduated. I do want to thank those of you that think in innovative ways. Sometimes we do run into mistakes we've made, and we've got to own those mistakes. And those students sometimes get snagged with that one extra course. So the best strategy in front of us is to move those students through at the pace that is most appropriate for them, to get them graduated so that seats are available for those that are waiting for that opportunity. We are not going to be a CSU campus that in the next decade will be flat in terms of student interest. It will be far from the opposite. The state of California in the next decade, it's projected will look flat if you look at one number, a general average. But if you look at the Central Valley, it's not just Bakersfield, if you look at Fresno, if you look at Stanislaus, the Central Valley is growing in the number of high school graduates, but more importantly, it's growing in the number of high school graduates that are A through G qualified, college ready. So I need every seat I can possibly get for those students that are expecting to come to CSUP, because don't forget, our students are place committed. They are not likely to be interested in going to other CSUs. This is a place where they are expecting to have an opportunity. So the best thing that we can do is support those students, get them to the finish line, and open up a track for those students that are going to be waiting to come in. That's why having that collaboration with BC will help us be more effective and coordinated. We can actually project that. Let me also say CSUB is not the only CSU that's over-enrolled. Cal State LA is 122% over-enrolled and is now going to impaction. And they are taking heat. They are taking heat. So let's try to get in front of this and be strategic and proactive on the front end, rather than find ourselves having to be responsive to being that much over target. Other thoughts? Victor, and then please, I'd like to hear from you next. Victor, please.
I know someone well at Antelope Valley who says he's watching online and texted me. He said very much appreciates the support, and as frequently as Antelope Valley has come up in the discussion, but did say that they could use more degree programs, STEM degrees in particular, for future high school teachers. And there's also been a lot of student interest in English, psychology, and biology.
Fantastic. So there you go. Those that are going to serve on the strategic plan task force groups, and we have that in the data as well. The data is what we'll be dealing with, and that shows up clearly in the data. Thank you for that word from Antelope Valley. And also, I should let you know, during Investiture Week, I will be out at Antelope Valley to meet with the community. I'm looking forward to that. We'd love to hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a communication major here, and I was just wondering, you were talking about BC having a satellite campus here. Mm-hmm. How is that going to affect the students here going here at CSUB already? Well,
we have, again, the great fortune of those students being accepted to Bakersville College in what's called an associate degree transfer program. That means they already have decided on a pathway, and that they're likely planning to come after they finish that 2 years to CSUB, so that we'll be able to plan where those students will be majoring. But also, I think there's going to be an opportunity here for those students to now be embraced on our campus as belonging here, because this is where they will be coming. And so there will be an opportunity for us to have Bakersfield College students as part of our Belong, Be Brilliant, BCSUB theme here, and that they will also feel welcomed earlier and supported earlier here at CSUB. My hope is that it's going to bring a great energy, and we'll figure out details related to how they might be involved in some of our programming or services, but those details haven't been yet defined. So, but we'll keep student voice as part of that. We're kind of excited to welcome those 2,000 students.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I am a transfer specialist. So transfer is particularly close to my heart.
Absolutely, Melissa.
One of the things that we see in particular is a lot of adult learners are coming back, and especially in Kern County, there's a huge equity gap. So they're attempting to come back to, support their families better and things. And one of the things at CSUB, and it's a common question that we get when students are transferring to us, is, can I take my program at night? Can I take it online? And we're talking about space, but have we looked at how we're going to serve that particular population?
So thank you. That goes back to that question from Ash about, can we bring on more non-traditional pedagogies to deliver our programming? And it's not only non-adult learners, it's our veterans, it's folks that have families either parents they're caring for or young children. So again, that's why I'm asking the faculty to help me in new searches moving forward, and also recruiting those that are interested in being innovative, in thinking about online, thinking about hybrid classes, thinking about night classes. Myself, I taught as a lecturer for 10 years at Fresno State. If I would have seen a job application that said, we're looking for someone that can teach non-traditional hours, as a mother of 3 young children, that would have been me. I would have jumped all over that. I'll teach the weekend, I'll teach at night, because I need to be home with my 3 kids if I can possibly work it out. So that would have been exactly the right job description for someone like me. I do notice also that many of our new faculty are very energetic and excited about innovative teaching. And, I have no problem with folks thinking about, how do I teach one class 3 hours on Friday, or 3 hours at night, or on the weekend, so that students can get through their programming. Again, for some faculty members, that's going to be an ideal fit. Not all, but I think for some, it would really help our student population, particularly those adult learners and those in the service. Thank you very much for underscoring how important it is for us to keep thinking about that. We are about 1 minute past, and I want to tell you how delighted I am to see such a big group of folks.